Police officers protect us from the evil people out there, but what if they turn out to be one among them? Today, we are going to reveal 3 female police officers who became the most wanted criminals and committed the unthinkable. Who are these female police officers? What did they do? Rose Valentino was a highly skilled police officer who had shown her immense dislocation and hard work towards her occupation in the police service. But an incident threw her off from her good record track and cut her name forever from the Cincinnati police officer list.
She said she became angry after a teenage student gave her the middle finger when she was over at Western Hills High School.
She was a star looked upon by her fellow officers. Her appearance in the TLC reality tube show gained her several fans. She had a positive attitude and was on good terms with most of the people she came across. On April 5, 2022, Rose Valentino was on duty and was driving her police car. She was heading to the district police station to hand over a report when she noticed disturbing traffic caused by many cars parked near Western Hills University High School. She was in the driveway and found it very difficult to drive as these cars were linked up before her as an obstacle. Even though she was in no hurry, she became very furious and switched on her sirens and light. The people who were in the cars were the parents of the students studying in the high school. They all came to pick up their children after school hours. Rose Valentino was aware of the situation, but she couldn't control her anger. She started being verbally angry and demanding they move their cars. Her window was down and she started yelling at the people to move their cars and provide her with a way out. A black male student was fossa pointed with the furious behaviors of Rose Valentino Demguille. He put up his middle finger. This was spotted by those, and she became even more furious. She reached a stage where she was no longer in control of her emotion. She started verbally abusing the boy by speaking mean words. She then started shouting the N-word, and this was heard by the crowd. Her frustration was due to the long lines of traffic and the ignorance shown by the people who did not move their cars. The incident was known to the public as it was recorded by the board camera in her car. Otherwise, she would have escaped the situation way before. As it was a recorded incident and primary evidence is there, actions had to be taken against her. The white police officer uses racial slurs against a high school student. This was the heading that covered all the newspapers and media. Rose Valentino was the one who claimed that the student showed her the middle finger. She has no evidence to prove her claim. Her board camera only recorded her racial slurs and aggressive behaviors. The student was not even visible in the board camera. Her claims will not stand on their own in court. She needs to prove it with evidence. As we look into the matter, we understand that Western Hills University High School is primarily filled with black students. Around 70% of the classroom strength is occupied by black students, was the interim police officer, and she thoroughly checked the circumstances and reason for Rose to lead up to get sort of character. City officials approved the recommendation of Teresa. Rose Valentino no longer enjoyed her role in the police service. The Cincinnati Police Department did not want a person like Rose Valentino to work for them. The next story is about Megan Hall, a patrol officer of Laverne. Her story would shock you forever. 4 officers got suspended along with Megan Hall for engaging in sexual acts during service. Juan Lugo Piers, Lewis Powell, Seneca Shields, and Henry T. McGowan were the 4 police officers who got the suspension. What did they do? What were the offenses they committed? Patrick Magliocco, Larry Holliday, and Gavin Schuberl were faced with immediate suspension. Jason Cole, Laverne's mayor, received information that Megan was having several affairs in her department. An investigation was conducted to find out the truth. Magliocco was the first to admit to having sex with her, and she even kissed his wife after discovering that he had an open marriage. Since the spring of 2022, Magliocco and his wife was engaging in sexual acts with Hall. They were even caught by her husband, but were not accused of anything severe. Powell was married when he had oral sex with Megan while on duty. He came to know that Hall had multiple partners, and this led him to confess his doings to his wife and come clean before her. Seneca Shields was the difficult one among these police officers, as he denied having any kind of sexual relation with Hall. When investigated further, he revealed that they were engaged in oral sex at the department's gym. They did these acts while being on duty. Holliday said that once he invited his fellow officers to his home, and they were all heavily drunk, but nothing happened in his home. Then, later on, he admitted to meeting Hall in hotel rooms and enhancing in sexual acts with her. McGowan had visited Hall's place along with his female friends, and they exposed their genitals before Hall. The Memorial Day hot tub party was the incident that led to the revelation of this major scandal. Officer Stats posted the video where they were all having fun. Magliocco forced Hall to drink vodka, and Hall was heavily intoxicated. She was unable to think in her right mind, and she took her top off at the party. Officer Durham was with Hall enjoying the pool when she showed her breasts to everyone. Stats tried to cover her up and protect her from future embarrassment. As the investigation went deeper, Hall was asked about all these accusations. She denied every one of them and said that she did not have any kind of sexual relations with the men in her department. She said that she had a relationship with Holliday. Apart from that, she did not have any kind of malicious relationships. She revealed that she had sent revealing images to the officers. She admits that she had a sexual relationship with Powell and Perez. Lugo was in denial that he had any kind of relationship with Hall. At the end of the investigation, the scandal was sealed by firing Hall, Lugo, Powell, Shields, and McGowan. Holliday, Magliocco, and Achieved were faced with a suspension due to their relationship with Hall. 26 February 1996 was the day this brutal murder happened. The daughter of Dr. Nels Rasmussen was murdered in Los Angeles. Before being murdered, Sherry felt stalked for a long time, and she informed her father about her concerns about being stalked. Stephanie J. Lazarus was the person who stalked Sherry. Sherry's father was desperately trying to bring out her murderer before the court, but police tried to close the case by putting it under the category of robbery. Many said that the police tried to cover up the murder and redirect it as they didn't want to lose one of their own. Why would Stephanie murder Sherry? What was the motive? Well, it's a love triangle. John, the husband of Sherry, was in love with Stephanie before he got married to Sherry. Stephanie was head over heels in love with John, but they could not get married to each other. They were in ULA together and celebrated their love for each other with the batch of '92, but their on and off relationship did not survive much. John met Sherry shortly after he ended things with Stephanie. Sherry was working at the Glendale Adventist Medical Center and was a sweetheart. He soon fell for her and asked her hands for marriage. Stephanie thought he lost John forever, but John decided to hook up with her for one last time. They had a secret relationship and no one knew about it. John later on ended things as soon as he got officially married in 1996, but Stephanie became emotionally locked in. Stephanie took her gun and shot Sherry to death in her house. John and left the place. The police officers couldn't find the murderer, but later on, they found out after 23 years through DNA tests. Do you think Stephanie killed Sherry? Is jealousy strong enough to kill a human being? Let us know in the comments.
On November 14, 2022, an incident occurred at an SKLD Wyoming nursing home involving a staff member named Sue and a visitor named Michelle. Sue, the administrator of the facility, called the police on Michelle, accusing her of trespassing and taking pictures of her mother without permission. Despite Michelle's claims that she had not committed any crime and that the nursing home was a public facility, the police quickly convicted her of trespassing and detained her.
She's not on the trespass list, so officially trespasser.
There you go.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Sue. I'm the administrator. So we have a family member who had an allegation against her, and so we've reached out to her and let her know that if she wants to visit, we need to meet with the team here and figure out a way we can keep the mom from being. Her guardian does not even want her to visit, but we talked her into letting her. If we do supervised or promise that she won't take pictures of her mom and put them all over Facebook and TikTok and stuff because the guardian doesn't want that happening. She came in, refused to talk to me, slammed the door in my face, wouldn't let me in the room. So
Do you want to trespass?
yeah, at this point,
best
yes,
way to get her out of
until she will come in and meet with us and figure out
Yeah,
what
you
we
can always
do.
take the no trespass order
Because-
away, but
yeah.
let's get her trespass. That's the only
Because
way
I don't
we're gonna
want
get
to.
her
I
out
don't
of
want
here.
to not let her see her mother, but she needs to do it so we can keep the mom safe.
During the encounter, Michelle argued that the nursing home, being publicly funded, should not be able to trespass on her without reasonable cause. She even mentioned contacting the facility's vice president, who allegedly stated that she had not committed any crime. Michelle believed that her actions were protected by her First Amendment rights, allowing her to visit the facility and take pictures freely. However, the police insisted that trespassing occurred because the nursing home, as private property, had the authority to restrict entry as they deemed necessary. They maintained that Michelle's refusal to cooperate and meet with the facility's team justified her trespass conviction.
Pretty much like anywhere, just like if you walk into a speedway, they can say, hey, I don't want this person here anymore. Doesn't matter what the reason for it. If they tell me that, and they want you they say, hey, I want them trespassed.
So when I come back tomorrow, I go to jail?
Yeah, you can't come back until you
I
figure it
will
out.
be coming back.
Okay.
And I already let the vice president and president, I spoke to them today. They said, we haven't heard anything. Well, then why are they doing this? You might want to call her.
Call them and tell them to talk to Sue then.
Correct.
That's the best you can do right now.
Yep, this is just I'm sorry, this is a fucking joke.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong, but so don't come back on the property until you cleared up with the vice
I'm coming
president.
back tomorrow. I'll be here every day, and I don't care if I go to jail. I've already been told by lawyers, by the advocates that help Britney Spears. National News, the News 8, everybody's on this. So they've already told me, if you have to push the envelope, because that's just going to seal the lawsuit. Huh?
You're not going to be able to do that.
No, but it'll seal the deal when I'm getting arrested for no crime.
Trespassing not to be the crime.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They can't say I'm trespassing when I've committed no crime.
That is the crime. That's what we're trying to type.
Michelle expressed her frustration and stated her intention was to return to the facility, disregarding the trespass warning. She believed that her case had gained significant attention, citing advice from lawyers and advocates who had helped Britney Spears. She asserted that pushing the envelope and standing up for her rights would strengthen her potential lawsuit against the nursing home. Furthermore, Michelle claimed that one of the police officers violated her Fourth Amendment rights during her detainment. She alleged that he forcefully tried to seize her phone while she was attempting to inform her children of the situation. Despite not having committed any crime that warranted handcuffing, she was restrained by the officer.
I'm not giving it to you.
Okay, well then you're going to be detained until we figure that out then.
Huh?
Then you're detained until we figure that out.
Why are you detaining me?
Because right now you have to be trespassed.
Okay, well, can I make one phone call?
Nope, you have to give me your driver's license.
I don't
just tell me your name.
Give you already know my name.
Okay, can you write down her name?
Oh my God!
Exactly how it's spelled.
So
until we can find you and we can figure out who you are.
Hold on,
Exactly.
I'm gonna call and let them know. Go pick up my kids that I'm being arrested.
You're not being arrested right now.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
being detained.
So detained and arrested are two different things. Being
Hold
arrested
on.
means that you've been charged for something. Being detained is temporary.
Hold on, I'm being detained
Okay. Do you want to?
because I won't give them my license.
All right. So what's
I've done nothing wrong.
What's your date of birth?
I've committed no crime.
What's your
Brandy,
date of
what's
birth?
your date of birth?
I committed no crime.
Okay, now you're being detained then.
Police officer.
And then we'll get a fingerprint scanner and then we'll figure it out. Let go of the phone.
Brandy, you want to park with the building.
I'm not doing anything
Okay,
wrong.
right now, you need to
We're not
present
playing games with you.
identification.
Only
If
if
they-
I've committed a crime
Not
and
true.
reasonable articulable suspicion, and I've done nothing of the
So
sort.
right now you've been trespassed, okay?
Uh-huh.
So we need to identify you so we
Uh-huh.
can successfully trespass you
Uh-huh.
by doing our lawful job.
Okay.
Michelle's perspective on the incident raises concerns about the staff's handling of her visitation rights and the violation of her constitutional rights by the police officers. She intends to take legal action, asserting that her rights were infringed upon throughout the incident. In yet another troubling incident that occurred on October 31st, 2022, a visually impaired man named Jim Hodges was illegally arrested and detained by 2 Columbia County cops in Florida. The officers, Deputy Jamie Godey and Sergeant Randy Harrison, claimed that the walking stick Hodges had in his back pocket was a firearm, leading to his arrest without lawful authority. The encounter was captured on video by Hodges himself. When the officers approached him and questioned the object in his back pocket, Hodges explained that it was a walking stick. However, the officers insisted on obtaining his identification and detained him, citing their suspicion he was carrying a weapon.
What's this in your back pocket? I just saw you walking it.
It's a navigational aids. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
Yeah, I am actually. What's your name and date of birth?
I don't have to give that unless
Yes,
I'm
sir.
here.
I was
You
investigating.
have reasonable.
Do you want me to
articulated
put you in
suspicion.
handcuffs right now? Yes, sir, I do.
Hodges questioned the officer's authority and refused to provide his identification, stating he had not committed a crime. He asserted that his Fourth Amendment rights protected him from unreasonable searches and seizures without probable cause or a warrant. Despite Hodges' explanations, the officers continued to detain him and insisted on checking his identification.
Well, you're being one to me.
No, sir, I'm
Have a
doing my
good day.
job.
Am I detained?
Yeah, you are. What's your name and date of birth?
It does not matter.
Yes, sir, it does.
Do you have a crime?
Would you like me
Call
to
your
put you in?
supervisor,
He's right
please.
here.
All right.
Don't, you know.
Sir, what's the stop for? For a walking stick.
So,
And it could look like a weapon. She asked you to really present it, okay? Now she's asking me for ID. Okay. I don't need the ID unless there's reasonable articulated suspicion that I have committed a crime and committing a crime or about to do a crime. Sir, and her suspicion was that you were armed, okay? And she's asking you for your ID. Well, now she has verified that I am not armed, okay? So there is no problem. You have your ID or not? I do have my ID, but you don't need it, okay? Okay. Sir, you do that.
Okay, 777.
7 Whiskey Mike 15. Where's wallet there?
Where's your wallet at, sir? I don't have a wallet on me.
Okay, where's your ID?
Where's your ID at? Pocket. Which pocket? You are not allowed to search me.
It's in this pocket.
There you go.
Thank you.
The incident constitutes a clear violation of Hodges' Fourth Amendment rights, which protect against unreasonable searches, seizures, and false imprisonment. Florida statutes define false imprisonment as forcibly confining, abducting, imprisoning, or restraining another person without lawful authority and against their will. In this case, the officers wrongly arrested and detained Hodges, despite identifying the object in his back pocket as a walking stick.
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number. You know, I'll put you in jail for resisting.
Okay. Alright, let's go.
I want your name and badge number too, sir.
Have a seat.
You want to pick my property up, please?
I sure will, after you have a seat.
You want to pull this out of my back pocket?
Sure. Here, I'll grab your jacket for you, too.
After an investigation by the sheriff's office, it was determined that Deputy Godey and Sergeant Harrison had violated several department policies. As a result, Sergeant Harrison was immediately demoted and suspended without pay for 7 days, while Deputy Godey received a 2-day suspension. Both officers were also required to undergo remedial training on civil rights. Hodges has retained an attorney and plans to file a lawsuit against the Columbia County Sheriff's Office. He's also requesting a federal investigation into the incident. The case highlights the importance of protecting individuals' constitutional rights and holding law enforcement accountable for any violations. In this next video, in May of 2020, an incident unfolded in Columbia County, Georgia, where a man was filming a video outside the store. However, the owners of the store called the police on him, prompting officers from the Columbia County Sheriff's Office to respond. The officer in charge approached the man and requested his identification, citing a call about his videotaping activity.
Yeah, we got a call about your videotaping on the property. Do you have it?
No, I'm not on their property. I never step on nobody's
Oh,
property.
okay.
No, sir.
No, I've just got the call.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Do you have a driver? Or an ID?
Well, I don't show my ID. I don't do nothing wrong. You understand? I'm filming in public, giving people free advertisement, and they approach me. And if you could just tell them that I'm not doing anything wrong, and
Yeah, but you weren't on the property.
no, sir. I'm very careful not to do that. I'll pull GIS surveys, and been doing this a long
What are
time.
you videoing for, if you don't mind me asking?
First Amendment, protected activity. Just
doing like
yeah. Free advertisement.
Do you live around here? Are you from here? I'm
not from around here. Most people know me. I do this. I go around and, show people right from wrong from right. And, when they say they call the police, I don't leave. Yeah.
Checking on it.
Yeah.
But you were never on the property?
No, I'm very close. Never ever to do that. Matter of fact, as far as I was right there at the edge of the curtilage, the GIS survey starts.
The man asserted that he had not committed any wrongdoing and explained that he was filming in a public area to provide free advertisement. He emphasized that he was careful not to trespass or infringe upon anyone's rights. Refusing to show his identification, he relied on his understanding of Georgia law, which states that unless someone has broken the law, they are not required to identify themselves. The officer alleged that the man had trespassed on the store's property despite video evidence proving otherwise. However, the officer persisted in requesting identification to potentially charge the man with trespassing. The man maintained his innocence and questioned the basis for his detention as he had not committed any crime.
Unless I've broken the law, you don't have to ID in the state of Georgia. Am I being detained?
Well, for the moment, yes.
For what crime?
Till we find out what's going on.
To what crime am I being committed?
We were called because you were on their property.
Right, and he determined I wasn't.
Okay. Hang tight just a minute, we'll get you out.
Am I being detained for an unlawful reason? Yes or no?
Right now, you're being detained because you were on their property, and we're trying to find out what's going on.
Okay, and I can prove that I wasn't on their property, and they can't prove that I was. Or, there again, issue me a trespass, I'll be on my way, and then we'll go to court, but...
A staff sergeant arrived at the scene, and the man recounted the entire incident, including his rights and the lack of any illegal activity. As the man spoke, the 2 deputies involved in the arrest stood by, seemingly embarrassed.
How are you? What was your name and badge number, sir?
Sure, it's Staff Sergeant Johnson, 93159.
Hey, Johnson. I was explaining to them, I'm out here exercising my rights, First Amendment right. Private property starts about 1.2 foot on the other side of that telephone pole per government document survey. Well, okay. Anyway, I did my homework. I'm down here giving some people free advertisement. They called the police to me. This deputy here legally detained me for 18 minutes and 32 seconds for no suspicion of nothing. He told me that I had to show him my identification to be trespassed. I explained to him I was on the curtilage of that road. Right there, their property starts at the front tire of that VW. Okay. And I'm trying to exercise my rights. Both of them gentlemen stood in a auditorium or courthouse with their hand on a Bible, and they swore an oath to protect my civil rights. Yes. He's wanting my Fourth Amendment violated. He's wanting my First Amendment violated. And they called the police to me and lied. I got 28 minutes of video that shows me doing exactly what I'm doing right now on public property, exercising my right as an American.
And any time did you go on their property?
No, sir. Look. He knows exactly who I am.
Which one?
To the left.
Okay.
And I told him I'm gonna file a formal complaint on him and him. And y'all have never, ever had a problem with Columbia County.
Right.
Ever. And once you realize who I am and what I'm doing, and it really makes y'all look bad, man. And I'm illegally detained for no crime. That's a.
As long as you haven't been on their property, that's fine. Because you're outside their property, and you're legally doing what you need
Absolutely.
to do.
Can you explain that to them so they don't violate anybody else's rights?
And they don't want you on their property.
Absolutely. So I don't go on their property.
That's why they were just saying a criminal trespass warning. So you've been warned.
I've been warned the first time that don't get an ID. The second time you do. See, he didn't know that. He didn't know that.
I'm good to go with you if you're...
I'm good to go. Am I still detained? Thank you. Well, and thank you. I'll wait till y'all leave and then I'll leave.
The staff sergeant acknowledged the man's explanation and confirmed that he had not been on the store's property. The man expressed his intention to file a formal complaint against the deputy who detained him, citing violations of his Fourth Amendment rights and First Amendment rights. Eventually, the deputies conceded that there was no illegality in the man's filming activity and allowed him to leave without further detainment. This incident serves as a reminder of the importance of understanding and upholding individuals' constitutional rights, even during encounters with law enforcement.